welcome to the Day Job to Dream Job Summit. You guys, if you don't know Olivia Chapman, you need to, like right now. I'm going to give you a little intro for those of you who aren't yet familiar with your work. Olivia is a life and business coach at Olivia M. Chapman and the executive director of trading at Inner Glow Circle. Essentially, her mission is to help people live out their own mission through meaningful and profitable business. Through a combo of coaching and teaching, she guides her clients to start and grow businesses that not only change their lives, but impact the world on a larger scale. She works with coaches, consultants, nonprofits, creative entrepreneurs, and artists to grow their businesses and increase their impact. She does all of this by helping her clients to tap into their own unique gifts, style, and ultimately their own rules for what success looks like to them. Ooh, I love it.
Did you like that? You did a good job introducing me. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And so this whole summit is really about like pulling back the curtain and hearing a little bit more about the journeys and where all these badass coaches and entrepreneurs came from and how they got there. So what's your like day job to dream job story? What did that transition look like for you?
This could take up a really long time, but I'm gonna give you like the quick and easy version.
Okay, perfect.
It all started when I was about 5. No, seriously, but as a young child, like I really felt this like pull to do something huge with my life. And I couldn't really figure out what it was. Like I went on a lot of mission trips and then I got into teaching and I was always like really working to live out this purpose of like improving people's lives, right? But I kept finding that it like wasn't for me. I wasn't reaching enough people. I wasn't feeling as fulfilled as I wanted to be. I was often breaking the rules of whoever I was working for in service of what in my mind was a greater mission. So there was a little bit of misalignment there. But ultimately I was a public school teacher right before I became a coach.
Interesting.
Yeah, I taught mostly 5th grade. And what I was really most attracted to in teaching was working with a lot of the moms of my students. I was like, this is where the power lies. Like, if you can get through mama bear, you can change the world there. And so I was like, there's so much untapped potential in women. So then I started working with the teachers as an instructional coach. I started working with teen girls in a like teen coaching program. I eventually got certified as a coach, and now I work with women essentially to figure out what their mission is in the world and help them create that or live it out.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. What are the similarities, I'm curious, between teaching 5th grade and coaching? Are there any? I mean, I know what you loved is like working with those moms, and I couldn't agree more. Like the mama bear is where it's at. Are there any similarities between the two, though? I'm curious.
Well, I think that in order to really be able to learn anything, whether it's 5th grade math or whether it's how to run a successful business, like you have to be motivated by something. To be cliche, like it starts with why, right? Like why are you in school? Why are you starting this business? Like if we can really motivate people from that place, that's when things become successful, when people have an influence, when they really do something with their lives. And so with that, yeah, it's all the same.
I love it. I love it. So cool. And I'm also curious, what has been your biggest challenge throughout this journey from day job to dream job?
One thing definitely was working alone. Like I forgot what it was like to be with so many people. And I was like, okay, I'm like here in my office. I got my 2 dogs here. I've got like my computer, which is like my lifeline, but like where are my people at? Right. Like then in swoops like IGC, thank God. And now I like found my people virtually. And then of course, like hosting goddess circles, I get to meet with a lot of ambitious women, spiritual women, in person. And so that was a huge adjustment because I'm actually like quite social and I love like being involved. And so I missed that. Some days I just was kind of like, do I have a schedule? Am I just like on Facebook all day? Do I check email? Like, and so really learning to get in the flow of this whole different lifestyle. That was a little tough. And still some days I'm like, check in with yourself. What are you actually doing today? Start our time just as fiercely as when I was, teaching reading from 9:15 to 11 and then gym class. So getting back into scheduled life was a challenge.
Interesting. Yeah. And I think that's something, a lot of people can relate to, especially once like you're the boss, you're in charge of your day, but like, and something that's come up in past interviews too, is like, how do you be a good boss to yourself? So it's so interesting. Yeah. So, okay, another theme of this summit is women inspiring other women. And this idea that we can either look at it as like wow, there's so many other coaches out there, like there's not enough for me, or they're going to take all the clients. Or you can say, holy crap, like if she can do it, I can too. And we can really like shift it to this place of inspiration. And so I'm curious, are there any like particular women that stand out that have really like paved the way for you or have really inspired you that
Oh my God,
you
everyone.
like
I literally
everyone?
love
Okay.
everyone. Well, I have to say, like, one of my own boundaries is like I don't go too far into like seeing what everyone else is doing, but I have to
Mm-hmm.
say, like, almost every woman that I end up like meeting online or connecting with, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, she's doing it too. Like, this is awesome. This sisterhood experience.
Yeah.
Like you, Katie
Yeah.
DePaul, who I think was on this interview, and our other
She
sisters
was.
within IGC. And then there's like the bigger name people. Like I remember reading Danielle Laporte's story of how she went
Mm-hmm.
from, government job and into like author and speaker and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabby Bernstein, who was like party girl to powerhouse
Spiritual
author.
leader. Yeah. Yeah,
And I'm like,
totally.
well, these, like, I know what my ego says is like, you can't do that to Olivia, but what my heart says is like, well, exactly like you said, like if they can do
Mm-hmm.
it, so can I.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ultimately having these women to look up to
Yeah.
is what drives me and what keeps me motivated, especially having, people as close, like friends at this point.
Yeah.
It keeps me going for sure.
Cool. 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 Cool.
Hmm.
So a lot of people looking at you would be like, "Oh my God, she's so confident. She has it all together." And I'm really interested in like showing the real story. So, do you
Oh,
ever struggle with insecurity or self-doubt? And if so, like how do you move through it? What does that look like for you?
yeah, no, I totally do. Even if I don't know if anyone here knows, like I'm a relatively new mom. Like that's a
Mm,
huge point of like, beating myself up. Like, am I
mm,
doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Am I balancing my business with being a mom? Am I like, doing enough all the time? And then when it comes to
mm,
business, I kind of spoke to this a minute ago, that like double-edged sword of like allowing women to guide us and inspire us, but not
mm.
letting them make us feel bad about ourselves. Like
Yes.
my ego rises up and I'm like, she's doing a challenge and she's doing an interview series and she's
Totally.
book. And I'm like, shit,
Oh
I need to do
no.
more. I need to
Yeah.
do more. And so,
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh my God, is my stuff good enough? But then I have like you and all of our other friends to be like, you're doing just fine, right?
And to
I
keep
think
it
all of,
real, like I
yeah,
got electrocuted in the shower the other day. Like my
I,
life is not that
I'm honoring.
glossy. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I'm
I'm
so
kind of
into
kidding,
that.
but yeah, I mean, it's not all glorious. Like, yes, I have so much gratitude. I live in a beautiful home. I'm looking at a palm tree out my office window. I'm surrounded by my dogs. My baby's sleeping in the other room. My man is home to take care of him. Like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. But of course, like, yeah, I lose confidence sometimes. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what I would do without this growing population of coaches and service providers who are,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, like really rising up together in sisterhood
Mm-hmm.
and for like a bigger cause and a bigger impact. So,
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And I'm curious, now that you mention it, like how has being a mom impacted your business? Like what's it like to be a mom coach? And I would guess that it probably makes you a better coach. Like I'm just curious.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it totally shakes things up, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no longer am I available for like working all night long,
Mm-hmm.
and no longer am I available for like not getting in my sleep and my exercise. Like, those
Mm-hmm.
things not only make me feel sane, but make me a better mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you about scheduling before. Like,
Yeah.
if scheduling before was a must, now it's like a
It's like a
dive
real
on
must.
schedule type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I am much more guarded with my time. For like today, I was like, I have 2 hours before this call, and I had like a very set things of that I wanted to accomplish. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, after 4 o'clock, I really don't work anymore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's my time to be with Knox, and that's my
Yeah.
time to like be mom. And
Mm-hmm.
it just mostly like really allows you to guard your time.
Mm-hmm.
Which sometimes I'm like, here we go, ego. Like, I'm not going to get enough done with everyone else. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, like, I didn't create this dream life to only be working all the time. Like, there's so many other things I want to be doing, including hanging out with him. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so why did you create this dream life? What is your
Um,
why? Like I know you have a vision of like living on a ranch with pit bulls and like rescuing animals. Like what is
did
your
I
why?
tell you
Like
that at our sleepover back
I
in
think
DC?
so. You
Yeah.
guys, we got stuck in a snowstorm together and it was really fun.
3 or 4 days of just like
Me, you, and
total
Katie
and
DePaula.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
and some delivery food when we could get it. But yeah. Um, so yeah, that's part of it. I think like as I have like grown and like my private coaching practice has been booked for a while and
You
like I'm
like
doing well
exploded
there.
this year. Like I really feel like you've exploded this year.
Um, I think things have really picked up like
Yeah.
in the past year, but I also think that the coaching world has picked up so much in the
Mm.
past year or so
Mm-hmm.
that it forced me also to rise to the occasion. Like
Totally.
Facebook and like coaches were like the dominant thing on my newsfeed. Like I was getting hired like on Yelp or like at a networking event or
Mm-hmm.
just like totally different mode of.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think I've chosen to like rise up and that has also grown my business.
Mm-hmm.
But the why, I think it's still always being uncovered.
Mm.
I think that when I look back, I'm like, if I refocus and recenter on my why, it's really because like I believe that women are not to compare, but like so much stronger in so many ways than men sometimes are. And I
Yeah, I'd agree.
believe that if they can actually tune in to what their purpose is, it's just like radiating. It's just the
Mm-hmm.
domino effect into changing the world, which means like ultimately living out some of, my charitable causes. And I know you have some of your own, but like
Mm-hmm.
animal rescue, like pit bull rescue in particular,
Mm-hmm.
those are really, close to my heart causes, as well as like education equality. I work with a coach now who coaches educators, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
divine to be able to
Mm-hmm.
work with her.
Yeah.
I think my why is really just based around like creating the best life for everyone, including our little animal friends, and allowing
Yay.
everyone to see that they, given direction and motivation, have the power to do it too.
I love that. That's so awesome. Um, what is your biggest piece of advice for people who are maybe just making that transition from day job to dream job? Or like, I'm sure a lot of your clients, like if you could give them one nugget, like what would it be?
If they're watching this right now, they're going to be like, stop saying that. But what I all like the only way your business can fail is if you stop working on your business. I think
Yes.
you literally cannot fail unless you
Mm-hmm.
stop, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it may
Mm-hmm.
require a little extra creativity and some trial and error, but you literally
Mm-hmm.
can't fail at business if you keep, producing content, if you keep producing work or
Mm-hmm.
ideas or offers,
Yeah.
something is going to work. And as long
I
as you're
love that.
working on it, it's not going to fail.
That's so empowering. And
But
I think it ties in a little bit to the your awesome ebook that you're offering, Make Your Own Rules Marketing Edition, an ebook for uncaged entrepreneurs. Can you tell us a little bit about that and where people can
yes,
find it?
yeah. So Make Your Own Rules Marketing is an ebook that I wrote for exactly what you said, like the
Mm-hmm.
uncaged entrepreneur, the
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur who is kind of struggling with this, like, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I, be on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook? Should I blah, 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 blah. When in reality, it's like sometimes you got to test the waters, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
know, for example, that I cannot dedicate myself to Instagram and Twitter. Like it doesn't move me. I get distracted. I don't get excited about it. Like
Yeah.
those marketing means are not for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the ebook is meant to give you a ton of ideas, but then also give you a 5-step formula for really being able to figure out which marketing means are meant for you. And so, yeah, it kind of goes with the whole like break your own rules or break the rules a little
Yeah.
bit and, figure out like the fact is like we can either focus on the competition or we can focus on creating. And so this really is meant to serve you as you create your own marketing plan
Mm-hmm.
and your own way to reach your potential clients wherever they may be.
I
If
love
that makes
that. So cool. And you're speaking at an event coming up called IGC Ignite. Is that right?
Oh my God, so are you? Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
tell me
super
about that.
excited. I am talking about shifting your shoulds at the IGC Ignite event. I'm talking about,
Interesting.
essentially what, I'm totally losing my train of thought, but
That's okay.
ultimately everything I should or shouldn't have done to get to where I am today and how you
Mm-hmm.
can actually focus on choice and desire instead in
Mm-hmm.
service of creating the dream life that you actually want.
I love that.
So we're going to break up all of the shoulding on yourself and start actually powerfully choosing what you want to do with your life.
So
and I get to be joined by you and how many, like 10 other crazy, awesome women.
Like all of our best coach friends. It's so fun.
And we're probably going to have a sleepover sans snow again.
Yes, hopefully no snow. That would be a little distressing in April.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last question for you before I let you go and be the busy mompreneur that you are. What's the best part of being an entrepreneur for you?
The best part is, I think, watching my clients like actually seeing their businesses work, like whether it's selling their first product or hosting their first event or getting their first clients or their next like watching the process work is what moves me, right? Like I know that I can do it, but watching other people do it, that's the best part about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh my God,
and
I love that.
Live next to the bay and like hang out with my dogs and my kid all day. That's fun too.
That is awesome. So inspiring. Thank you so much for joining us, Olivia. It's been awesome, as always, to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me. And please, I know I was supposed to mention where to get my book. If you guys want to download the ebook, just go right to the website. It's right there at oliviamchapman.com.
Awesome. Awesome. And we will link to that in the show notes.
Perfect. See you next week in DC, beauty.
Bye.